It either. Okay. Oh my gosh. It took 30 minutes to get on here. Listen, I don't know what happened. Um, I see that. I don't know what happened. I changed, let me tell you what I did. I changed the title of my video, and then all of a sudden, I guess YouTube didn't like that. So, the stuff I was going to talk about under the video about government efficiency and all that. Yeah, I'm just going to have to do it over here because they would not let me on. I looked to see did I have any strikes or anything. Nope, they just blocked me. I was like, wow. Hi, Chloe. Thank you for hanging in there because, oh man, I don't know if you got a notice or you just hoping I'd show up. I don't know, but that is the craziest thing I had ever seen. I think in the few years that I've been on here, which hasn't been a long time, but that's just the second time I think that's happened where I could not get on for whatever reason. So, anyway, I am glad that you are here and please sign in. Um, you know, you know the deal, where you're from and all that good stuff. And I'm going to jump right into this and hopefully you got to notice all three. I kept trying to get on. And then I tried then my first time trying to do a short because my community tab disappeared. It's like I couldn't even post a notice saying that something was malfunctioning and I could not get on. So then I ran across this short thing. I'm like, let me try to do a short. I've never done a short. I did that. What did it show up? No. I don't know what happened to it. Anyway, listen, stuff is going on. So that's why I said, what is going on? That's the name of it. Well, I'm gonna tell you what's going on. Give me a minute. I'll be right there. Now, let me get to my notes that I thought I wasn't going to get to. I really apologize. I just that was one of the biggest snafus I have ever seen. I just was not, I couldn't get on here. It just would not let me on. Anyhow, welcome. Welcome back to the channel and welcome if it's your first time. I appreciate you being here. South Carolina, Ade, how are you? Listen, I want to read you guys some stuff. And hold on just for a second. I'll ask my husband to contact some people and let them know I'm on now, but I'm on under what is going on. Tell them look for the channel, what to look for the title on the channel, what is going on. Use my phone called just text Diane and Helen and Tracy and let them know I'm on because my gosh, yes, no, up there. All right. So I'm going to go kind of in reverse order from what I had planned to do since my husband's got my phone right now with my notes on it. But I want to tell you guys something that happened to us yesterday. Now, considering all this stuff that's going on and all the saber rattling that's going on between nations and who's got the bigger stick. It's just, oh Lord. Anyhow, and the rest of us just have to sit back and watch these idiots just go at each other like this. However, it does affect the economy, right? Now, we've had these long standing issues with um, food and just an enormous amount of recalls and all this, right? And I'm thinking, first of all, concerning all these recalls, I don't know, call me suspicious, whatever. I have absolutely no reason to trust our government. I just don't. It's absolutely corrupt. It's just too much stuff that's been going on for too many years unchecked. And so now people are losing their minds, but I'm going to get back to that. Anyway, so what happened yesterday, I went to go buy some flour. My husband and I we literally went out of town. And while we were out of town, I thought, well, I should pick up some flour because I was coming to the end of some flour that I had. And I had been making wheat wheat bread and whole wheat rolls and stuff like that for him. So um, I wanted to replenish my flour. Well, there wasn't none. Okay, I mean whole wheat flour. We went to one store. Hi, Sharon. We went to one store. They had a lot of flour. All of it was expired. What is that? It was all expired. He came out to the car and told me it had expired like a month or 2 months prior. Now, let me tell you something. What happens when that happens? You're going to get bugs and you're going to get a lot of them. I told them, go to the register and tell them that everything they have on their shelf, all the wheat flour is expired, right? And see if they have anything else in the back. Well, they didn't. All right, that was one town. So then we decided we're going to, all right, we'll go over to another town. So we go over to that town. They ain't have none. We went to the next town. They didn't have any, right? Well, they had some, but it was going to expire in 2 weeks. I'm like, what is going on? So you know what's going on. If you first of all, that stuff has a pretty decent shelf life of about 6 months to a year or whatever, if you don't process it for long-term storage. So if all they have is what's expired or expiring, that's all they got. And why is that? Well, Ukraine supplies a lot of wheat to the rest of the world, as does India and a couple other countries, right? But I'm telling you guys, listen, I've been trying to tell y'all for years and years to you needed to stock up on stuff. You can't have this kind of international upheaval going on in all these different countries and it not affect our economy and it not affect our food supply. So this is what I've tried to tell people. You just can't help yourself. This is what I've been trying to tell people for all these years, to please get what you needed while it was available, because now things are starting to disappear. You can't have these different companies and things going out of business or laying people off by the thousands and think that stuff is still going to be available. It's not. The people that manufacture the stuff are getting laid off, right? And then if a lot of our stuff is coming from China, and we're bumping heads with China right now, well, and then we've got these fees and fines that are going to be attached to everything that they want to bring in. So they want to attach bigger fees to everything that goes into their country, which ain't a whole lot. Anyway, the flour thing was just crazy. It was just absolutely, I couldn't believe it. So then we ended up driving a whole hour away to where our home is. I'm in my RV, as you can see, to where my home was, to try, excuse me, I'm tired, to try to find whole wheat flour. I looked online. I don't even shop at Costco. Okay. I looked online at Costco and they didn't have any. Now, here's the weird thing. They have the over processed stuff, right? They got the white flour. They got that where they done stripped all the nutrients out. They got that. But the whole wheat flour, they didn't have that. They just didn't have it. And then I tried Sam's. They didn't have it. Now I'm just talking about it in our area. They didn't have it. And I thought, wow, that's something. You would think that they would have the whole wheat flour because it's the least processed. You would think they would have that. It seems like it wouldn't take as much time or manpower or whatever to process it. No, they got the stuff that ain't got no nutritional value to it. They got plenty of that. See, this is why people like RFK is bearing down on the FDA and the Food and Drug Administration, because something just smells rotten in Denmark. Okay, something is very wrong with the way our food system is set up in this country. Why is it that we serve to the public things that other countries have absolutely banned because it causes cancer? And why is it if I go to Canada or I go to Europe, Germany, and I look at ketchup, you know what it is? Tomatoes, water, maybe some citric acid for preservative, and that's it. Right? There is ketchup. It is tomato. There's nothing else in it. Look, I want to challenge you to look on the back of your ketchup bottle and see if there's something on there you cannot pronounce. What is that? What is that? Why are they feeding us poison? I stopped eating ketchup, by the way. But anyhow, I'm just saying something's weird going on. So um hold on, you guys. You have to call her back. So anyway, I just had a heck of a time getting on here, and I don't know why. So man, I want to talk to you guys about the stuff they probably didn't want me to talk to y'all about. So this new agency that the president has set up to root out fraud and waste is for the good of the public. Now, let me qualify that statement. This fraud, waste, and abuse has been going on for so many decades. It goes so deep. I mean, you can't even touch bottom on this. It's bad, y'all. It's bad. So, but what is astounding is that it seems to me that there's a segment of society, they're so out of touch with reality that they're not upset that their money, their tax dollars, their retirement, their 401ks and all this stuff has been ripped away from them and sent over to these other countries, most of which don't even like us, without their permission, without my permission, without your permission. Now, I'm gonna tell you. Let me read this. And the crazy thing is that there's a segment of society that is angry that these people that have been appointed to look into this stuff are actually looking into the stuff. Okay, how can wait a minute? Somebody help me understand. If I see somebody breaking into your house and going out the back door with a TV, right? Now you ain't moving. Me and you are good neighbors. We talk a lot, and you never mentioned to me that you were moving. But I happen to be putting my dog out in the backyard or whatever, and I see somebody dressed in black with a hood on, right? Face covered, and they tipping out your back door with a TV. Then I see them tipping out the back door and they shoving jewelry down in their pockets. And I call you at work or wherever on your phone and say to you, somebody broke into your house. I'm watching them take your stuff out. Do you want me to call the police and have them look into that? And you get mad at me because I want to call the police and have them check into who is robbing you. That is the insanity that is going on in our world right now. That is what's going on in the United States of America. There is a segment of society that is angry because somebody is looking into who stole your money. That, my friend, is insanity. That's crazy. Okay. So listen, I'm like, go get them, sick them. Okay. I want to know who did it, and I want them to go to prison. I am sick and tired. We can go all the way back to Hillary Clinton and James Comey and Burisma and all of it. All of it. We can go all the way back. We can go back to George Bush Sr. And who have we seen go to prison for anything that these people have done? Right? So me, for one, I'm kind of fed up with investigate this and investigate. Listen, these people got such a long trail of debauchery and thievery. You ain't even got to investigate. They are so brazen with it because there's never any consequence, right? Once again, the taxpayers are paying for all these investigations. Listen, we've had decades to build a case, right? They ain't nothing to investigate. When they do it right in front of you, right in front of your face, when they stand on the national mic and say no one is above the law, and yet when the law comes for them, they want to sue. They want to go to court. They want to do everything they can to block you from finding out just how deep their pockets are. Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm fixing to tell you how deep they're. Listen to this. Get your tea and a tranquilizer because you're going to need it after I read this to you. Check this out. This is just today. This is just today. This is not what has been going on for the last couple of weeks. Okay, this is just today where your money went. $60 million to indigenous people and Afro-Colombian empowerment. What does that mean? What does that mean? Because I ain't seen their dime and I'm Afro, okay? Not a dollar, not $1 have I seen that empowered me of that 60 million. There's more. Hold on. 74, this is just today. $74 million went to inclusive justice in Colombia. Now, wait a minute. Colombia. I ain't talking about Columbia Avenue. I ain't talking about Columbia, which is Columbus, Ohio. No. Columbia, the country. You know where they speak other stuff. Colombia. $74 million. Inclusive justice. What is that? What is and did you vote for that? Because it's the first time I was hearing about it was today. Hold on. $79 million for primary literacy in Kenya. In Kenya. Now, wait a second. Because I'm pretty sure we got a couple of generations coming up that can't spell their name. Okay. What's going on with the primary literacy here in the United States? Because these kids coming up is like, if you don't give them a computer, a cell phone, or a MacBook or whatever, they can't write, they can't read, they can't think. They got to use AI to do their papers for them. They can't think. Anyway, there's more. $37 million spent on female empowerment. Again, in Colombia loves you, okay? They love us because they've been getting a lot of money from us. $25,000 to increase vegan local climate action innovation. That's a tongue in Zambia. Zambia. Yeah, that one. Zambia, right? What is vegan local climate action innovation? What is that? It sounds like farming. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like somebody's growing vegetables and they sent $25,000 for that. $1,513,299, drum roll, to use kittens in a study to analyze motion sickness. I am not kidding you. This is what they had. This is the kind of stuff they've been finding out. I told y'all months ago, they are washing money. This whole thing with Ukraine, President Zelensky said he only saw $77 million of the billions of dollars that we sent that way. They washed that money. They ran it through Ukraine and they distributed it to their buddies, okay? Democrats and rhinos and globalists. That's who has your money. How you feel about that? How you feel about that? Or are you mad because the police are looking into it? Or are you mad at the people that stole your money? Come on. Listen. I'm telling you, it's a whole new world out here. It's crazy. Hey, JB. Girl, I am so sorry. Listen, you guys, for those of you that are just signing on, I don't know if you got a notice or not. I tried 30 minutes trying to get on here, and I finally decided to try to change the title of my video and try again, right? So I changed it to what is going on here, right? And then, because I really didn't know what was going on, And lo and behold, they let me come on. They had blocked me. And I even went to, and they took my community tab off. I couldn't even send y'all a note. So then I stumbled across something that said do a short. So I sent y'all a short video and then it disappeared. It didn't even upload. Crazy. Crazy. Anyhow, somebody don't want me talking about this. Look, the administration that's in place now campaigned on what they were going to do. They campaigned on it. They told the American people, we're going to look into the fraud. We're going to look into the weaponization of the military, the weaponization of the justice system. We're going to get this stuff straightened out because this should never have been allowed to happen and it should never happen again. And he's absolutely right. Now, you got people losing their minds. I was on a text message, a chat with a lady in Canada. It was interesting. I'm reading through the chat, and she was on there with her friends, losing her mind over President Trump talking about taxing them for their goods and services that come into our country. Now, listen, this is what he said. He didn't say he was going to overtax them. He said it was going to be a reciprocal tax. In other words, if you charge us 25%, right, for our goods coming into your country, then we're going to charge 25% for your goods coming into our country. What is wrong with that? I mean, what is wrong with that? That's fair. But no, they want to charge 60% coming into their country and don't want to pay nothing for their stuff coming into our country. And that's how it's been all around the world with these countries that we do trade with. They have been raping us for decades of our money, of our tax dollars, for our goods and services, and taxing us to the nines for everything that we want to ship. This is what the man is trying to get straightened out, right? Why are you going to get mad at the police that's trying to protect your right to keep your stuff, rather than get mad at the person who's tipping out the back door with your television? I just want to know. Somebody tell me, make that make sense, okay? Because it does not make sense. This absolute madness that people are going through right now. This woman was on chat losing her mind over Canada becoming the 51st state. Now, listen. First of all, I just, oh my God, I had to try to appeal to her sensibilities. Okay, I was hoping she had some, so maybe I could get in there, and try to, help the sister. But listen, first of all, unless there was some kind of a hostile invasion into Canada, that's not going to happen without the consent of the government. Calm down, lady. So, because while you get steady looking down south at Trump, with the Trump derangement, you better look at what's happened to your country. Okay, you better take a look. I've been saying that for 16 years, trying to get them people to clean up your own backyard. Stop worrying about what we're doing and clean up your own mess when you're creating rooms and safe spaces to people to go in and shoot up and kill themselves. All right. I think you got a bigger problem than a tariff. Okay. You got a much bigger problem. So here's the thing. If we wanted to be under the thumb of people who told us what shots we had to get, took away our rights to our own body to say no, I don't want to take that experimental medication, we would still be under King George, folks. I mean, we fought our way into liberty. And guess what? I get a sneaky suspicion that these young bucks coming up behind me gonna fight their way right on through to the end of liberty. That's what I think. There ain't no way. There's no way, with all of the lives that have been sacrificed and lost, that the American people are just gonna lay down and take it. It just ain't gonna happen. Okay, it's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. Now, here's the serious part. Here's the dangerous part. The dangerous part is that when you got kids coming up and you got young men that like to play dress up, right? They can't even get it figured out what gender they are. They could drop their pants and still be confused. That's how bad things are. That listen, my daughter has a dog. He is not confused about what his sex is. The dog knows. Okay. I'm just saying. I got hens. They know. Well, one of them's kind of crazy, but most of them know what sex they are. They ain't got to think about it. They don't have to go to therapy. Nobody got to try to tell them that you're a hen. You're not a rooster. Okay. Yeah. Why is it that the animal kingdom knows, but the humans who are supposed to be at the top of the food chain can't get it figured out? Even if they drop their pants or lift their skirt, they still don't. They're still scratching their heads because of how they feel. Go to sleep. You might feel different tomorrow. And if tomorrow you're feeling like a cat or a dog or a furry, you probably shouldn't even be driving. Okay. You shouldn't be driving. You shouldn't be teaching nobody. You just, no. I'm just saying. Y'all having trouble finding whole wheat flour? I just want to know what stuff is missing off the shelves in your grocery stores, because stuff is getting ready to get crazy. Now, let me say something about this. The job situation. There are, and I was listening to a podcast, might have been yesterday, and this guy was talking about how all these Gen Zers were just getting fired. Like these corporations, they just have to let them go. I saw some clips where this girl recorded herself, three of them people, recorded themselves getting fired. HR is on the phone with them, explaining to them why they're being let go. This one girl had, I don't know how many times she was just late for work, right? And they decided you ain't worth the trouble. The lady was very professional on the phone with her, and she had her record. She read it to her, and I'm telling you, the girl had a reason for every time she was late for work. The lady told her, on such and such a day, you were 11 minutes late. She said, 11 minutes? Okay, all right, go ahead. What else? Wait a second. Then she told her another time you were 9 minutes, and I spoke to you about your tardiness, and then the last time you were 30 minutes late for work. Well, it was my birthday and my cousin had borrowed my car. He didn't bring the car back. I'm thinking about it. She had no concept of responsibility. The word just, I don't know who her teacher was, but they left that one out. Okay. She probably couldn't even spell the word responsibility. I'm telling you, this girl was just, it was bizarre. It was really bizarre. It was just crazy. She had no concept of wrongdoing. Nothing. I mean, she was clueless. She was absolutely clueless that she really did have a responsibility to be there. So one of the other things that these HR people were talking about was these young people coming up. It's like they have no work ethic. They don't think they're supposed to work. And if you tell them that they have a responsibility to do certain things and that they were hired to actually do something and then get paid, you got people breaking down in tears, feeling like they've been abused because they're actually expected to do something. It is the most insane thing. I've never seen anything like I've never, I'm glad my kids missed this one because both of them don't mind working, right? Man, oh man. But the generations, like 2 generations behind my kids, are just nuts. It's like, what is wrong with these children? Man, ugh. Anyhow, look, back to the food thing, okay? They done killed off all the chickens, just about most of the chickens. It's terrible. This is why, if you can, you need to raise your own. I'm telling you, if you can I talked to a lady today, because my guess is that so many of these poultry houses have had to put their chickens down, their layers, their laying hens and stuff. There ain't gonna hardly be none. It's coming on spring, and there ain't gonna hardly be none. And somebody was reading an article or something to me. I think it might have been my husband, and was talking about this person. He would go or she would go to go get chicks, and every time she got to the store, they were gone, just sold out. Like as soon as they came in, they were all gone. So people are having to go to Tractor Supply or Atwoods or wherever it is they go to, or what's it called, Rural King, whatever, before the store opens and sit there in the parking lot until the store opens and then go in and buy, because other than that, they're gone in like the first 10-15 minutes. They're gone because they've slaughtered so many of the hens that, and the roosters are usually killed right at birth. I mean, right after they hatch, they're killed. They put into a machine and processed, and they go into dog food and whatever all else, because they don't have any. They have no use for the roosters, except not all of them. They do keep some of them, but they don't have hardly any use for roosters at all. So if you can raise your own meat, please do that. If you can raise your own chickens, please do that. Um, I heard somebody say that wherever they were at, the cost of eggs was like $9 a dozen. Woo! Let me tell you. Mm-mm. We went and got some feed that a lady recommended to us today to give to our hens, because she said her hens are very prolific layers. They're just like these hens, these little scofflaws. They ain't. I got 8 hens and only 4 of them are laying. Now, with somebody better pay rent, right? My husband keep telling them the pot is just in the next room, right? He's talking about cooking them if they don't lay. So this lady was telling me about some feed that she gives to her chickens. So I said, okay, so we're going to try that, and maybe it'll boost up their whatever, because they used to lay and then all of a sudden they didn't. And I'm thinking that they did something to the feed that messes with the hormones of the chicken, and that they're not laying as well. Glory says Aldi has eggs for $5.47 a dozen. Wow. Yeah, well, I haven't seen. I don't think I've seen $9 here, but I heard somebody talking about it. I don't know if that was in California or somewhere. Lord have mercy. Anyway, oh, it's $1 an egg in California. $12 for a dozen. So listen, you got to have backups and have backups with your backups. And now it's even expensive to get stuff like this online, even if you try to get it online, right? Um, because several years back, I thought, even when I had my hens, my first flock, this is my third flock, um, I thought it was a good idea, because you have animals and stuff, and if you got a little homestead, animals die, they get sick, they die, they get captured by predators, things happen. And so I decided, if something happened to my chickens, I still want to have eggs, right? So I bought some powdered eggs, not egg whites, not egg yolks, the whole egg that had been dehydrated like that. And you reconstitute it. So I thought, okay, let me try this out. So I had some that I had stored for 5 years. And I thought, Lord, I don't know if this stuff's any good. I opened it up, had no smell to it. I'm thinking, hey, hey. So I read the instructions. I didn't really like the consistency on the instructions, because to me it was just a little bit watery. So I added a little bit more powder than what they said, and I mixed it all up, and then I put it in the refrigerator and just let it rehydrate overnight. And then the next day, when I wanted to cook it, before I cooked it, I put it in a blender just to make sure it was well incorporated. Put some butter in the pan, poured the eggs in the pan, made some scrambled eggs. Tastes like eggs. It wasn't no funny texture or nothing. Now, before I did that though, the first time I tried it, it came out kind of gritty or grainy or weird. I didn't know why that was, and this is from the same batch, right? Um, I didn't know why that was. I think it's because it just needed to go through a blender and be finely processed, before I cooked it. So now I know if I'm going to use powdered eggs, I probably need to run it through a blender after it rehydrates overnight. and I had powdered cream because remember all the cows they killed? So, why is it they keep killing off all the meat? Oh, I know, because they want you to eat bugs. That's why. But I ain't eating no bugs. All right, I'm just telling you. Hey, JB, what you saying? Yeah, it takes a good 3 months, 22 weeks, depending on the breed, for a hen to start laying. So, and it's the same thing with cows. It takes like a long time before a calf is ready to go to be processed. So when you see things like this happening on a very large scale, and that ain't good enough, then they want to put out all this information about the food recalls. What? Wait a minute. You're going into the manufacturers and killing off all the animals, and then you want me to empty my own cabinets, right? Yeah, no, it ain't gonna happen. Listen, y'all. Yeah, just don't do it. Hi, Judy. How are you doing? Ew. I saw that movie, Soylent Green. Yeah, no, nope, nope, can't do it, can't do it. No thanks. There is a restaurant. I don't know where in California, but oh my God, I saw an ad about a California that a city or town in California restaurant that served human meat. They had permission from the FDA to serve human. I can't even. I just nope, nope, can't do it. Nope, 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 nope. So yeah, I think I'll be eating lettuce for the rest of my days if I had to if I had to do till I turn green. But I ain't doing that deal. So anyway, back to the whole money thing. Do you know anybody that's mad over all this waste and abuse that's going on? I saw an interview, not an interview, but the president was doing a press conference, and they were talking about you're cutting all these people and you're doing all this stuff. And listen, 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 listen. If your employer says, "I want you to tell me what you've done in the last 7 days or the last 5 days that you have worked. What have you accomplished? What projects have you worked on? What have you done?" And you can't answer that question, you are sucking off the public. Okay. You're not working, because I don't care if you're working at McDonald's, you did something. You wiped the table, you swept the floor, you dropped some fries, you did something. So why get upset when your boss says, "I want to know what you've done in the last 5 days"? Because, first of all, when we see all this money going out of the country, like it's been going out of the country and just vaporizing, who knows where it went, right? Well, I got a good idea, but because some people got rich, like Barack Obama and Nancy Pelosi, and all these people got very, very wealthy, okay? Especially over the last 4 years. I mean, they got wealthy. How you doing? Did you get yours? Yeah, no. That's why this is a good idea. Now, what the president said was, we don't even know if some of these job positions are real. They discovered that people have been collecting Social Security checks for years that was 150 years old. Who, in this day and time, lives to be 150 years old? A couple of months ago, I saw an article about a lady in Spain. I think she was in Spain, who they think is the oldest living person. She's 116, right? Um, I don't know of anybody that's 150 years old. So it's millions of people that's 150 years old, 125 years old, 130 years old collecting Social Security. And people are mad because they're putting a stop to this. Well, I got a theory. You want to hear it? Here it is. My theory is the people that are mad about it are the people that are benefiting from it. And now their gravy train has stopped, right? So you got to put this in perspective. Yeah, it's going to hurt for a bit. It really is. And I've been trying to get y'all to prepare for this, okay? But the man is trying to clean up the trash. I mean, he's trying to take the trash out of the government. He's trying to shrink government. This is a constitutional republic. We don't need massive, large government. That's what's going on in Britain right now. That's what's going on over in the United Kingdom. That's what's going on in Canada. They got bloated government. And listen, I remember going into a government office in Canada, asking them about something. I can't even remember what it was. The lady could not, it was something she should have known. I don't know if it had to do with my health card or whatever it was. This is a government office who's supposed to deal with that particular issue. She was clueless, absolutely clueless, had been working there a while and just didn't know. And this is something she should have known. You know what I had to do? I had to go down the street to a different agency that wasn't a government agency, but it was some kind of a social agency. And I asked the same question, and that lady was able to help me. But the people who actually work for the government and getting paid long money couldn't answer the question. That is the most wasteful nation beside our own that I have ever lived in. I'm telling you, I ain't seen no craziness like that. They literally get paid to do nothing and be dumb. It's astounding. There's a reason why my husband defected from that country. It's just, it'll blow your socks off. I mean, if you ask them for help, they will tell you, sorry, can't help you. No. Well, is there a number I can call? No, there's no number you can call. Well, is there a supervisor I can? No, there's no supervisor. I mean, they ain't even trying to help you, like, ever, for anything. It just ain't you on your own, okay? It's just a shame. Anyhow. Hi, Damali. Peas, she says, peas and rice is my go-to meal. There's many kinds of peas, beans, and rice, which is lots of variety. Oxon Hill, Maryland. Never heard of it. Welcome. Yeah, so listen, thank you. Bring me back on track. Tofu. Yep. Listen, you guys, you need to focus on your pantry. I'm telling you, focus on your pantry. Focus on your health. Get out of debt as quickly as you possibly can. You would be surprised how much money you may be wasting and you might not even see it, especially if you're standing in a supermarket and they got these things, or in a store, they got these things called impulse racks, okay? You standing there waiting to get checked out and you looking around and you see this box of this and this is hanging up and that's over there and then, oh, let me get that. Oh, that's called impulse. That's an impulse rack, right? If you have a bad habit of standing in line, looking around and getting some bright idea about you need that thing that's hanging on that hook, put it back. You don't need it. Okay. You don't need it. Trust me. You'd be surprised what you can do without if you have to. But you're going to have to discipline yourself. This is what I tell people. If you're trying to get out of debt, you need to pick a day. The first is a good time to start. Every time you spend money, every time, save the receipt. Every time you spend money, I don't care if it's a pack of gum, save the receipt. When you get to the end of the month, you go through them receipts and look at everything that you bought. You'd be surprised how many times you reached in your purse, pulled out that card or pulled out some cash, and it was not something that you actually needed. It was just something that you wanted. So when people tell me I can't save any money, you probably can. You probably just got to look really hard and see, what am I doing? Now, there are those cases where people literally don't have, there's nothing left over. When they get finished paying their bills, I have been there. There ain't nothing left over. But I will tell you this too. I have never been without. I have never been without. When I say I've never been without, I'm meaning I have never had my lights turned off. I have never had my gas turned off. I have never been without a place to live. I have never been without clothes, ever, right? Ever. You know why? Because I give God what's his first. That's why. That's why I take care of his business first, and then he's obligated to take care of me. So there you go. I don't have them problems. That's why I try to tell other people what you need to do. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just telling you what works for me, what I know works for me. Okay. You need to get out of debt. And let me tell you something else too that I have said so many times on this channel. Do you see what's happening with the gold? Anybody want to go to Fort Knox? Because I'd like to know, where's the money? Where is the gold? Do you know the last time an official audit was done was in the 50s? How do we even know the gold is there? I'll bet you a dime against a crippled crab that there ain't no money in Fort Knox. I'm telling you, there ain't no gold there. And if it is, how do we know that it's really gold? Unless they go in with testers and machines to check every single block. You don't know. You don't know, right? I mean, people have been allowed to go and do a little photo shoot, but you don't even know if that's a block of tungsten just covered gold plated. It's just gold, a little thin layer of gold on the outside, but the inside is metal, some kind of metal, right? So people say, "Oh yeah, I saw the gold." No, you think you saw the gold. You don't know what that is unless they put it on a machine and test it, because it's supposed to weigh a certain amount. It's supposed to have a certain amount of elements in it. It ain't supposed to be magnetic. All this kind of stuff, right? All this kind of stuff. Somebody need to go to Fort Knox with some equipment and tell the American people, because it's our money. It's ours. That's our money. That is our money sitting at Fort Knox, supposed to be. And here's another heavy revy for you. Right, there's a tunnel that leads from Fort Knox, from the what is it, the Treasury Department or something like that. A tunnel that goes under the street from one building to the other building. Now, riddle me this one. If you was a thief and somebody had been telling you for 2 or 3 weeks that they're coming to see if you actually stole their stuff, and you still had it, wouldn't you be trying to put it back in place just so it would be there when they came? Because Lord knows you had enough warning, all right, that they were coming. So I just think it's kind of interesting. I want to know. I just, listen, y'all, somebody need to go to prison. I'm telling you, somebody needs to go to jail for high treason, because they have stolen from us. They have lied to us. They have poisoned us. They have sent your money to see how kittens respond to motion sickness. Okay. Now, if you have a cat, you already know how they respond. This is disgusting. It's terrible. I'm laughing, but it ain't funny. I'm laughing because I'm mad, right? Oh my God. Anyhow, I'd like to know how y'all feel about all this. Let's see what JB said. Hi, Judy. She says, I have tasks to accomplish daily at work. I'm held accountable. I have to follow up with my associates' progress as well. Yeah. JB says, Grandma said a stomach full is a stomach full. Don't let your palate make you starve to death. Well, there you go. Look, y'all, they ain't coming to help you. Does anybody remember when I did a video like, I don't know, 2-3 years ago? I said, nobody's coming to help you. They are not coming. They don't care about you. I told y'all that. Now, look, I know that was hard for some people to hear. I know it was. It's the honest to God. Listen, they've been stealing. Look, y'all. Not only have they stole from you, they stole from your parents. They stole from their parents. They've been stealing from the American people for decades. They were stealing from this country before we even got here. I don't mean on some boat. I'm talking about through your parents. Before you got here, they were already stealing and robbing and lying and cheating. You know, it's disgusting. So as far as I'm concerned, it's going to hurt, because they are downsizing some of these companies, and unfortunately, some people have been caught up in this mess. They didn't even know they were caught up in something that was illegal. They didn't know that they were working for a shell company, or some company that was a front for money laundering. They didn't know that. They just applied for a job and got hired, right? So they're pushing a paper and pencil or a computer and doing whatever it is they were told to do. It was just meaningless work. They did not know that they were participating in a felony. They didn't know it. So now all these people get laid off work because of these bogus companies and these bogus jobs that they were given that really ain't a job at all. They were just getting paid to show up and look like they were working for a real company. It's sad. It is sad. So, like I said, people don't think that stuff can happen until it happens to them, right? I'm here to tell you there ain't no more fans for the crap to hit. All right. The crap has hit the fan and it hit the last fan. And now what you're witnessing is a deconstructing of all this stuff that's been built up for all of these years. I'm telling you, it's being torn down brick by brick by brick. And it's going to hurt a lot of people. It's going to hurt a lot of people, but it should never have been in place in the first place. And unfortunately, people got caught up in that. Now, I got another perspective. You can look at it like someone said, my friend is in the crosshairs. Well, you can look at it like that. Or you can look at it like God delivered them from evil. Okay, you can look at it like that. God took them out of a very bogus, evil situation that they didn't even know they were perpetuating. He's got something else for them. Okay, so I'm just saying, keep your wits about you. Make sure you have backups. You better get to the store and get what you need while they have it. Because I'm telling you, some stuff is disappearing and it ain't coming back. Some of that's not coming back because we have just moved on, right? You got stores and businesses and stuff that go out of business because they lose their relevancy, like FW Woolworth and stuff like that. They just lose their relevancy and they end up going out of business. Because they don't keep with the times, right? They cater to a certain demographic of people, and then those people eventually start dying off, and the generations coming behind them don't have the same interest. And if they don't want to rework their model, their business model, they're going to die. That's what's going to happen to them. So there's a lot going on. And I want you to be safe. I want you to have what you need when you need it. You have to look into what you need to be able to survive these next few years. Because let me tell you something, it ain't gonna be no joke, folks. I'm telling you, it's gonna be crazy. That's why we did what we did concerning flour. We finally found it and we got it, and then I had to get a big old tub to put it in. So what I do is, I'm tell you what I do. I could show you this one day, but I'll tell you what I do. As a matter of fact, I do have a video where I show y'all how to do this. This is what I do. I take a roasting pan. I empty my flour into the roasting pan, except self-rising flour. Don't do it with your self-rising flour. The self-rising flour has baking powder in it, and you'll kill your baking powder. But every other flour, bread flour, all-purpose flour, unbleached flour, whole wheat flour, I don't know about spelt and all that other kind of stuff. I've never used any of that. But just your regular, typical flour, this is what I do. I empty it into a roasting pan. I put it in the oven. I put the bag that it came in the oven. I put it on 200 degrees and I leave it in the oven for 30 to 40 minutes. I take it out of the oven. I sit it on a cooling rack. I let it cool off completely. I mean, completely. It can't have a hint of warmth in it. Nothing. When you put your hand in it, it should feel cool. It should feel room temperature. And in between that time where it's cooling off, I take a big cooking spoon and I stir it. I toss it, stir it, toss it, rotate it, toss it to get the heat off the bottom and cause it to evaporate out and any moisture to evaporate out, because you don't want mold. All right. This is something that I do because I intend to keep it, for 2, 3, 4 years. Right. After it cools off completely, I put it back in the bag that it came out of. I fold it over. I take a coffee filter and put it over the part I folded over. I tape it down and then I vacuum seal it. And then I mark the date that I did all that. So if I did that today, I'd put today's date on it. It doesn't matter what the date is on the bag itself because you've altered it now. So you go from the date that you actually altered it, right? And then you store it in an airtight container. That's what I've done. I made bread a couple of weeks ago from flour that I had 5 years ago. I was just, it just took me that long. I'm getting to the, I think I've got uh maybe 2 bags, 3 bags left from what I stored then, still left. But I made bread from that for the Super Bowl, and it was excellent. I mean, it came out just fine. Everybody scarfed up their sandwich. It was fine. It wasn't dried out. It wasn't lumpy or anything like that because I let it cool off completely. If I had a vacuum sealed it while it was still damp, it would have came out clumped up, right? And moldy. So, but why do you do that? You do that because there are microbes and all kinds of stuff in there that you can't see with the naked eye. You want to kill it off because some people say, well, just put it in cold storage. Well, you can do that. But there are some bugs that hibernate, right? I mean, do you see any grasshoppers right now? You will see them soon. Okay. So I'm just saying there are bugs and ants and beetles and all kinds of little creatures that hibernate in the cold and then they come alive in the spring. That's the whole purpose of putting it in the oven and killing off anything that might have snuck in there while they were processing it, right? So that's just a thing. Now, I got to ask you guys a question. I got uh, a comment from someone a couple weeks ago, might have no, a couple days ago, excuse me, and she said she missed me doing hair videos. Now, this channel started out as hair video, and then it transitioned into this. I don't know what to tell you. It just did. So I would like for you guys to put not in the chat, but when we finish with the video, this live stream, I want you to go into the comment section and tell me if you want me to mix what I'm doing with hair videos or um, food processing videos. What do you want me to do? Or do you want me to just continue doing what I'm doing? And because I think I kind of do a mixture now, I just don't mix those two things in with it. But I need you to tell me what you want to hear. And then I can try to, shift in that direction because I want to be able to bring you interesting content and all that. I usually just come on here and I have a thought in the middle of the day and I'll just put it down on my phone and all that. And then I'll talk about that. But let me tell you something else before I let you go. Here's the thing. Some of you may know, and some of you may not know that I hold 3 positions as an elected official, right? It's the craziest thing. This is the craziest time of my life ever. Um, I was so done with politics. I was so sick of people. I was sick of politicians. I was sick of being one. I was just sick of the whole thing. I was sick of it, sick of it. And I prayed. And I feel like God spoke to my heart and said to me, if you abandon your place, you will leave a vacuum and the devil will fill it. Okay, now what you gonna do with that, right? I'm thinking, oh Lord, and things was bad enough. Now I do not want it on my hands or my conscience that I contributed to things being worse. What are you gonna do with that? Oh man. So before he said that to me, I had gone through another election. This was last November, where I was reelected to a position that's my term is for 2 years. And let me tell y'all, I so didn't want to do it. I voted against myself. I voted against me and still won by a landslide. That's the craziest thing I ever seen. You ever seen anything like that? So anyway, there's a living sermon of how a person's steps can be ordered by the Lord. I voted against myself and still won by a long margin. Okay, I had no contenders. Nobody contended. They just wanted me in there. Okay, so that happened. That happened. And then, if you know what precincts are, here I was. I'm giving up my precinct seat. I'm giving it up. I'm done. Nope. Voted in again. I'm thinking, okay, all righty then. And then this last thing, as a state committee person, I had 4 or 5 people contending for my position, which I didn't even know they were contending for my position until I got there to the convention. And again, I won by a landslide, right? And I wasn't really trying to hold on to my position. I was asked to try to contend for my seat. And then so I just kind of showed up and told them what I had been doing behind the scenes, trying to work with some people. If you can believe this, we still have J6ers that are in prison, right? A lot of people don't know that. But we still have 4 gentlemen that are being held against their will in prison, even though they have a full presidential pardon. Now, if it were up to me, I would send in the U.S. Marshals to get them out. But it ain't up to me, right? But these rogue governors and mayors, they're out of their minds. It's a corrupt justice system. These people did nothing. I mean, nothing. No, they did nothing. One guy said, we've had 4 people that were arrested in that January 6th thing have committed suicide. They were treated so badly that they killed themselves. 4 of them. So we got 4 more that we have to try to get out. And try to arrange transportation for them to get back to their homes and stuff. So this country is a mess, right? It's a mess. It is a mess. And I'm telling you, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and all them, that whole little nasty little group right there, they ain't do you no favors. I don't care how black he was and how great an orator he was. He was the best liar I ever heard. I can tell you that much. But I could see right through him. Didn't vote for him either time. For the record, just so y'all know, I could see right through him. So anyway, look, y'all, get your stuff, okay? You need to get to the store, get your stuff. You need to watch your money. If you don't hold it, you don't own it, all right? Chase Bank is in trouble. These banks are in trouble. They are in trouble. People are starting to look at this whole Fort Knox thing and saying, I got stuff at the bank in the safe deposit box. Maybe I should just go get my stuff, because this is what a lot of people don't know. The box at the bank is insured. The box is insured. The content is not insured. They don't know what's in your box, right? How they going to insure it? Nope. You better listen. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. So just think about how you're managing everything that you have that has any value. I have gone through my valuables. I have taken pictures of each. I'm not finished. I still got like 4 or 5 more pieces I have to do. But I've taken this is just a suggestion. This is what I did. I took pictures of things that I felt were valuable that I wanted passed on to others, right? So when I took the picture of it, I looked up the description of it. I put the description there. I put the person's name there that I wanted to go to in the event that I pass away, right? Which I will one of these days, right? I put it on a thumb drive and I keep it with me. Now, if something happens to me and I become incapacitated or whatever, my husband knows where to find it. He knows it's on that thumb drive. My daughter knows it's on the thumb drive. Just plug it in, look at documents. I put my own obituary on there. I got his obituary on there. I got our pictures on there. On our obituaries, I got instructions. I let them know when I wrote this, I was in my right mind. Okay, so don't go changing nothing. Just leave it like it is. And there you go, right? It's not no will. It's not no, I spent thousands of dollars paying some attorney to tell my family what I could tell them my own self. I put it on thumb drive. I'm going to make hard copies. I'm going to put it in document protectors. And if something happens to those copies, it's still on the thumb drive. Just a suggestion. Okay, just a suggestion. Anyway, just do what you got to do to take care of yourself and your family. Make sure you have what you need. We got a friend of ours that just told us today that I think it was last month sometime. We called him to see how he was doing. He lives right across the road from us here. And he was in the hospital when we called. What you doing there? Well, he had had all this pain in his stomach. Then he was coughing. He was coughing up blood. He told us today the doctors told him he had about 45 days to live because he has a very aggressive gastrointestinal um, cancer. And we believe it's because he was, you know, talked into it and got boosted a couple times. And people that we know that have done that, had ended up having very aggressive forms of cancer. So 45 days to live, and it's it's just sad. It's sad. This whole Food and Drug Administration thing, let me tell you. Oh my God. I'm not even. Never mind. I ain't gonna start because I'm gonna lose my mind over that. So I'm just gonna let y'all go. Thank you very, very much. Yes, turbo cancer, JB. That's right. It's terrible. And they're poisoning our food. And you eat, they might put a little bit in at a time, but you do that over the course of a lifetime. And when you start getting into your 50s or 60s or whatever, you start having these weird health problems. You don't know what's going on. Well, it's because they've been slowly poisoning us, or giving us bad advice and all this. I could even get into the whole. I told y'all about quackadoodle. I ain't even, I ain't even going there and telling y'all about these quack doctors. Oh my gosh. Anyhow, that's a whole nother thing. Anyway, goodbye, y'all. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm not gonna hold you any longer because I can go a while. All right. I got a lot to say, but I ain't gonna do it. Anyway, I thank you so much for coming on. Please, please, please. You see what they did? They wouldn't let me get on. So I'm dependent on you guys to share the channel. I'm dependent on you to please leave a comment in the comment section, not the chat box like we're doing right now, but in the comment section. Let me know what you want to talk about. Do you want me to go back and do some more hair videos? Because that would be easy. You see what I've been doing for the last few months. You want me to talk about preserving food? What do you want me to talk about? Or you want me to stay on course where I'm at and keep trying to keep you updated on what's been going on? I can do all three, right? But just let me know. And then I guess whatever I get the most comments about, I will try to incorporate that more so when I come on and meet with you guys whenever I come on. So thank you so much for hanging out. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave your comment in the comment section. I will see you down in the comment section. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Have a very good weekend. And remember, if you don't hold it, you don't own it. That's what's up. Okay. All right, you guys. Take care. God bless you.